Obviously, it's a bit redundant to say that Disney's had a bad week, year, decade, but this past week in particular has been especially horrifying. I'll get to some of that in a moment, but first I want to talk about something alarming that's sitting in plain sight, and why is no one talking about this?
Weird.
By now, you've no doubt heard of Smugwhite's newest bout of foot and mouth disease, where she tweeted praise for all the fans who checked out the new teaser trailer.
Even though that was a little sarcastic and passive-aggressive, given how badly it's getting ratioed.
Where are we at on that?
Almost 900,000 downvotes as of this second. Will probably be close to 1 million by the time this video comes out.
A record, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure Disney was quite pleased with that initial tweet, but the follow-up, not so much. Now, this isn't a political channel, so we're not going to go there, but picture it. You're already in the doghouse with the mouse for shooting your mouth off, costing them hundreds of millions of more dollars, and then you go out of your way to create another hailstorm of controversy when your much more popular co-star is not only Israeli, but also served in the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force. But this isn't what I wanted to highlight, however. Everyone's been talking about it, and that subject's been pretty well been beaten to death. What caught my attention is this: Romeo and Juliet. Now think back to those clips when she was trashing Snow White.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
It was a dated, yucky love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Despite being an affair that lasted just 5 days and resulted in the deaths of 6 people, Romeo and Juliet is considered one of the greatest love stories of all time.
And don't forget, we have a guy who literally hides in the bushes, stalking her while she's on the balcony.
Her rant about Snow White rang false because that's not the Snow White story. But it certainly does fit Romeo and Juliet. So we have to ask, what is she talking about here? Is this a movie? A play? Is she toying with us?
Are the Wayans brothers cooking up another parody movie?
That's actually the only thing that makes any kind of sense here, because hiring her for anything is going to be a bad idea for any studio, let alone hiring her for the worst thing you could possibly hire her for, given her past statements. It's like some studio exec heard her rant and said, "Oh my beard, do I've got a project for you."
What the juice are these morons thinking?
There's nothing in her IMDb about it, and now she's openly at odds with her co-stars. Look at these pics from D23 just a few days ago. She's miserable. She'd rather be anywhere else, but is it because of the movie or is it because of Gal?
She does have that 1,000-yard stare.
I'll grant you that her mouth is operating a lot more professionally this time.
It's been under wraps for so long, so it's really exciting to get to share any kind of look with an audience that cares so much. It's been really, really amazing.
She does seethe, though, doesn't she? I mean, look at her. As Gal speaks, it's like she's in pain, like it's all she can do to hold herself together.
Which brings us to our next bit of bad news for the week, courtesy of that Star Wars girl who had some secret footage of Smugwhite from D23, which I won't show here for fear of me and my family being murdered in our sleep, and then having the mouse shrug off any responsibility because I happen to still have a Disney Plus subscription.
More on that in a bit, folks.
In the real movie, Snow White is on the run from the Queen. She stumbles upon the empty cabin in the woods and is perplexed by the small furniture inside. Assuming that the occupants must be orphans,
You'd think their mother would. Maybe they have no mother.
she cleans the place up and makes some food in exchange for her barging in unwelcome to a stranger's home.
Seems like the least she can do, considering she's asking the homeowners to risk death to hide and protect her.
But in the Smugwhite clip, she orders the dwarves around to clean up their own place for her and probably even make her food.
And the original, sweet, beautiful angel that cares about other people. Instead of caring about herself, she's more concerned with others around her. Like, she could have kept running in the woods, getting as far away from the evil queen as possible, but instead she's like, no, I'm gonna hide here, and I'm gonna, take my time. Instead of like hiding myself further, I'm gonna cook and clean for other people. It's like, oh my God. But Disney can't have that. They can't have, in 2024, a woman cooking and cleaning for men. Hard-working men, mind you. Like, these dwarves are working all day in a mine, and they have to come home to this now. Oh, my God. It is, like, honestly, it is a good reflection. See how I did that pun? Mirror reflection of modern times. Back when everything was wholesome and good and sweet versus now. Now you get this. This is what most guys get to come home to, and this is why there's a huge problem. Everyone's like, why is everyone being single? Why is nobody getting married and having babies? It's because nobody wants to come home to this. No one. I don't blame dudes for not wanting to get married and having kids if this is what they have.
You can't make this stuff up. Can you imagine coming home and finding a person currently wanted by the law inside your house who demands that you clean the place up for her, feed her, and then protect her at the risk of your family?
Snow White famously thought of others first before herself. Smug White is the opposite.
Rachel R. Doge, from what I saw in the clip, it was an entitled Rachel Zegler ordering people around doing her bidding. I didn't see Snow White at all.
So she can sing but not act.
Given these D23 pics, she clearly can't even keep up a facade in real life where it really counts and there are no second takes. That Star Wars Girls video proposed that Smug White is the true villain of the story, and from what we've seen so far, I'm inclined to agree. And that goes for Zegler too. I'm sure she thinks she's the hero of her own story, but that's what every villain thinks. Disney has spent so much time and money chasing audiences that don't even exist that they've forgotten the important things, like what Snow White was really about, like how Walt and Walt's family never wanted an animatronic version of Walt in the parks, but they're doing it anyway. The Acolytes sent the message that the good guys are evil, and the truth is, that's a little too on the nose. Disney used to be the good guys. The good guys are evil. Disney wants a wrongful death lawsuit thrown out because the widower had signed up for a free trial of Disney+.
This is why The Onion is struggling.
The short version, a family ate at a restaurant in Walt Disney World and were repeatedly adamant with the staff about the wife's sensitivity to dairy and nuts. They were repeatedly assured, but she ended up dead. And now Disney wants the wrongful death suit thrown out because the husband had signed up for a free trial of Disney Plus back in 2019. From what I gather, he didn't even spend any money on it. Signed up for the free trial, probably said it sucks, and canceled it before it was even charged. It doesn't matter. The small print in the terms and conditions stipulates you can't come after the company for anything. Whether it involves Disney Plus or not, it has to go to arbitration. This is vile.
If you switch the letters around, it also spells evil.
Rachel R. Doge, Disney is evil. Disney used to stand for family above all else, but now they won't even listen to Walt Disney's family, let alone yours. It was trustworthy, reliable, safe, but these days you can't even say they're prioritizing profits when they've lost billions, the stock price is cratering, and park attendance is at an all-time low. Want some further proof? WDW Pro has an exclusive interview about Disney World denying special needs children any accommodations. I'll link to the video below.
This is insane.
Yeah, we are well beyond just discriminatory hiring practices and crappy storytelling. Makes you wonder what fresh horrors have yet to come to light. Does any of this change the way you plan to do business with Disney? Let us know in the comments and stay fresh, cheese bags.